Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Today I'm going to be doing the next 6 stages, and I'm aware, I'm sorry, I haven't done this for a long time, but we're going back to it today. We're going to do the next 6 stages of the Jeff Gordon Chevrolet Monte Carlo. So I think this is pack 12. Stages 57 to 62. It's been so long, I can't remember what we did. So basically, I just opened my box to see what we were working on. Looks like some of the differential there, and a little bit of, I don't know what this is. We'll figure that. We'll figure that one out together. Again, I don't know if this is available. I've put a link in the video description, and we have the QR code on the screen. Let's catch up and see where we're going in this pack. Without further ado, let's get cracking. Okay, stage 57. Here is the magazine, and we're doing the right rear suspension arm. So we're going to be creating this just like this, and then we're attaching this to the car, are we? We might be attaching this to the car, I think. I have to bring that up here. So it looks like that. Or is that just showing us where it is? I'll figure that out in a minute. You see, that's definitely the big problem. If you don't do a build for a while, you do lose track. And I know I've got like 29 models on the go at the moment, but I've kind of got a little bit of memory of where we were. Because it's been so long since I did this, there isn't. And I'll be honest with you, there's no excuse for it. I mean, I've had these packs here. As a matter of fact, I've got like 6 packs of this here to do. And I don't know why I haven't been doing them. But there you go. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to be taking this pipe. This is actually going to go through the holes that we can see there. And we're holding it in from this side with some of these flanged DP screws. So there's one there. And just one on this side here. I then want to take this rear brake cooling scoop. And this is actually going to be going, let me get this right. This is actually going to be going this way round on here, so that the little bracket here is in that little rectangular section there. So let's put this into place like that. And then I'm holding that in with an AM screw. Just here. And then on this end, over here, having this way round, I'm going to be putting this into place. The way this goes in, it sort of slots it at an angle just like that. So put it in with a CM screw. I guarantee my videos are going to be a godsend for people doing this, because the pictures are really hard to figure out how this goes in. So what I'm going to do is tighten this up so you can see exactly as that goes in, like that. Okay. So, do you remember the rear axle mounting that we did in the last stage? I don't, but I do now. We're going to be putting this into place. So the way this goes is that this is going to be fitting on top of this section just like that. Again, it's held in with an AM screw. And there you go. That's in place. Right, I need to get the car now. God, we haven't seen this for a long time, have we? Okay, let's turn this upside down. And it's this cross member here that I'm going to want to remove. So I do that from the other side. So we've got the 2 screws here. I don't want to lose these screws. So I'm guessing we just put these in just to keep that part safe. Take this out, which I've got there. I'll move this to one side. Bring over what we've just created here. I didn't realise these actually come out, which I'm just taking out now. And because this is the right arm that we're working on here, this is stamped with an L. I want the one that isn't stamped. My one isn't stamped anyway, so this is going to be going on here. So it actually goes into the middle, just like that. It's held in with AM screws each side. Once you've got one in one side, it should be easy to get the one in the other side. There we go. So that's on just like that. And that is also all there is to do in that stage. So stage 58, I'm guessing we're going to be doing the other side. Let's have a look. Yep, exactly the same thing. We do have this as an addition now. Putting this together like this, mounting this on what we've just done, putting the differential in by the look of it. So we've got this whole thing looking like that at the end. So here is stage 58. Get everything out. Once again, this is just going to be going in here like this. And it's held in from this side with the DP screws. So 2 of these. Once again, put the scoop on. So plug that in, make sure that sits into that little trough there. And I'm going to use AM screws to hold that in. Once again, all my AM screws go in a tiny bit of oil. Now I've got to put the Panhard Rod in. So basically this is going to be going on top just like the last one there. The way this goes, this is going to be going over the top here and it's going to fit in kind of like that there. It's held in with a CM screw. So get that all the way in. Making sure it's fitting flush in there. Excellent. Bring over what we created before. We're going to be putting this in exactly the same way as that one. So this is going to be going in here just like this. And once again, I'm holding that in with an AM screw. And then finally, the bracket, just like we did there, will be going on here, held in with AM screws each side. So there's one in that side, one just in this side here. All I need to do then is take the differential and axle here, and I'll put this on here. Perfect. And then holding all this in with AM screws. The only other thing to do then is to put these brackets in place, which go in here. Now they are slanted at the bottom, so they do go a certain way round. One in this side. And one just in the other side here. Using my hammer just to really bed them into place there. And with that done, that's all there is to do in that stage. So, in stage 59, here's the instructions. And we're going to do the dry sump oil reservoir, creating this just like this. It looks like we get to put this in the car as well. This is definitely one of these builds where there's plenty to do each stage. Now, one of the things I need, if you look on mine, is actually already been encased in this thing here. So what I need to do is just work this out, I'm guessing, to try and get this out of here. I don't know why it's in here now. It's sort of stuck in there for some reason. I don't know if the paint had stuck it in, but we'll take that out because it's this part that I need. And I do have these two little, what are these? These are reservoirs. I'm going to push these into the tops here. They kind of sit in like this at the top, but they're held in from the underside with AP screws. So I need a long stemmed screwdriver to be able to get these in. And I also need to make sure that they are fitting in the troughs that we've got here. Perfect, so that's in like that. Nice. We've got a little thing here to put in, which is a drain plug, which is going to go on there, held in with an AP screw. So that's all on there, and now we get to put this in the sheath here. So, lining up the holes. See, I've got this hole here which needs to line up with this hole. We're going to put it through the bottom. And then make sure the hole lines up just like that. Because then I've got the, what is this? The oil hose fitting is going to be pushed into here. And that's going to stop that going anywhere. In like that. I don't know if that can go in any further. I'm going to give it a little tap with my hammer. There you go. That's in quite far there. That's not coming out. Now on the bottom here, I've got this fitting to put in. This fitting is just going to be going in this way, over the top here, just like that. And again, I think that's going to be held in with a screw. It's going to be held in with a QP screw. Just one of the different ones here. Through the hole there. And then just on the end of this, I have got this tab to put on, which goes on here and it kind of backs onto itself. So it's going in that direction, just like that. Now, we're going to need to bring the car back over, and I want to turn this upside down because this is going to be going into the position just here. So I just want to line up this tab here. So So it sits in just like that. It's having a wiggle around there. It's held in with 2 AM screws. So one at the front, or one at the back should I say, which is here. And then as you can see, we've got one towards the front. I'm guessing it's the front here, just like this. Perfect. So that's now locked into place. I want to grab an EP screw now, and that's going to be securing this, what we've just put in from this side here. So that screw goes in that hole just here. Excellent. Turn it back over again. And I'm going to want to put this piece in just underneath this section here. Make sure I'm not pinching the brake line. So it's going to go in there, and it's held in from the other side with AP screws. So rather than keep turning it over and over on itself, I'll put them in this way. Then on top of these reservoirs, I've got this little pipe to go in. Hopefully you can see this on the camera. Tiny things these are. There you go. That's him. And then this pipe I've got goes into the hole just in the back here. It comes kind of around the front. And a little bit difficult to see this, but it's going to attach into the blue nipple that I've got just down the bottom here. Probably best on the top camera. So that's in just like that. And with that done, that's all there is to do in that stage. Now I've kept the car on its side at the moment, out of shot. So it's still up here. This is stage 60, looking like this. And we've got the rear suspension springs looking like this. Putting these in here. And wow, there's a lot to do in this one. So get this out. And I've got some, going to be putting these locking levers into position now. So I want some AM screws. I'm going to build 2 at the same time, basically. So what I do on one, I'm going to be doing on the other. So grab one of these, and I'm going to be putting one of these in here. It has got a shape on this section here, so I need to make sure I get this so it's fitting flush in here. It should actually fit itself in there till I get such time as I can get this screw all the way in. So that's one done. Let's do the other side. Okay, just move all of that to one side and bring over what we were creating last time, because I'm going to be putting these into place on here. Now I think these notches are meant to be sitting kind of like in that direction. So UM screws are going to hold these in. So I'll get them in both sides. And there you go. They're in place like that. We now get to put the springs over the top of these. 1 and 2. And basically we're locking these into place by using that tab. So we're not using screws to lock these into place. I'm just going to see where that tab is now, so that I can put this over the top. Quite an ingenious way of doing this. Let's do the other side actually, so I can see that. So I put this over the top, push it down, and then twist it. And that locks it into place. It's clever, isn't it? Okay, do the same on this one. Line it up, push it down, and turn it. There we go, locked into place. Very clever. Now this lead here, we're going to need to create, these are centimeters now, which is cool. We're going to need 80 millimeters, which I'm going to cut here. And I'm going to need 65 millimeters, which is exactly that size. I'm also going to need to cut off these nipples. I have my glue on the hand because you know what I'm like. I don't like these pipes falling out. So I'm going to put some glue on these and get these into place. So one on there and one here. Perfect. Just put all of that to one side. That's the thing about this build. We do start on something and then we move to something else. Bit weird, but we're going to go back to this section here. So I've got a mesh to put over that box we've put in. This is the oil cooler. Bit difficult to put this in because even though this sits this way round, this is metal on top here, I'm holding it in with XP screws. But these are tiny screws and I need to get them either side of this drive shaft here, which just increases the difficulty level just a touch. But 4 screws are going to hold this into place. I don't even think you can see this because it's hidden under that drive shaft. Look, it is there. And there you go, that's into place. Right. Now, this pipe, which is coming from the front of the car here, is now going to be, well, I'm gluing it in to this three-way nipple connection here. It's actually going to go on the top one. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to just trim this down just a touch. It doesn't need to be that long. And get this in. Now, the longer one of these that we make goes into the side of this oil cooler here. The other one's going into the other side. And we don't connect these up. We're just leaving them like that at the moment. That's all there is to do in that stage. Stage 61 is the instructions. And we've got the, what's this? The Panhard Rod, looking like this. Putting this into place. So it looks like that there. We are really just going around the houses doing different things at different times. I don't know if I like that. I'd rather get, it's the OCD in me, I'd rather get one bit finished and then move on to something else rather than do the whole spectrum of the build. So I've got this little section here looking like that, and I've got a Panhard to put in, which is this, which is actually going to be sitting in here like this. Just like that. Nice. I want to bring over this that we were working on before. See, we're doing different things. So this is actually going to be going in here. I've just wiggled this into position. I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape off all the paint that I can see along the side here. Because it does fit in at an angle. It doesn't look like it does at the picture, but it does fit in at an angle. So let me just put this part here back in. I am just going to give that a knock into place, and as you see, it should then fit flush in there. The picture makes it look like it sits in straight. If it sits in at an angle, it's held in with AM screws. If you are struggling with that, definitely shave the paint off, because that made it really easy for me. So 2 AM screws just through the bottom here. I want to get an ABM screw out ready, because this arm that I've got here is actually just going to be going into that section there, and the ABM screw that I just opened is going to secure this arm into place here. Then I've got this arm to put into place. So one side's going to be going in here, and the other side is going to look like this. It's facing towards these pipes here, and I want an MP screw now, which is going to hold this into place just from this side here. Line up the hole. And ensure this screw goes all the way through there. Should go through the silver screw part and this rod that we just got there. All that's left to do then is just to put this bracket in, which actually goes on this way, and it's clipping over the top here. So it's just a case of putting it in just like that. Now, it hasn't asked me to glue that, so I'm leaving it just as it is, but that's all there is to do in that stage. What a detail pack this. So stage 62, here's the instructions, and we're going to do the rear left brake caliper now, putting this together just like this. And that's how it's going to look. Anyone wondering, the recording time at the moment is just over an hour. This is what I'm talking about, where you get your money's worth with this pack, aren't you? Okay, so I'm going to grab some AM screws here, because what I'm going to do is put this support for the shocks in here. It's actually going to be going into this section. I'll put this upside down. It's actually sitting in there and get it in on the other side there. As I said, it's held in with AM screws. I've got them here. Now in here we've got a diagonal rod, which got to get it out of the plastic here. So it's going to go underneath this, and the thin end is going to go here. The thick end will be going on the other side, just over there. They're held in with CM screws. So that one's in there, which means this one can go into there. That might need a little bit of pushing around to get that in there. Perfect. So that is now how that's looking. Now we've got the brake disc. We've seen us do these before. We're just matching up the shape and putting the lugs together here. So it's just a case of pushing them in just like this. And there we go. Instantly made vented brake system. We're going to make the caliper, which means taking this section here, and I want to, where I've got L on here, I want to push this onto here. Now this does go on a certain way, so let me just push it on to show you. It should go on that way there. On the other side, doing exactly the same thing. This side though does have writing on it, as you can see. Bring over what we were working on before, because we're going to actually mount these now. This actually is going to get mounted into the front of this bracket here, just like that, but it's held in from the other side here with AP screws. Need 2 of them. A little bit fiddly this one to get a screwdriver in here. I think to do the bottom one it's probably best to turn it over, just to ensure that goes all the way in there. And there we go. In it is. That's the caliper in. And that's all there is to do in that stage, but you can kind of guess how the brakes are going to be going on here if I can get this into place there. But, you know, over an hour's worth of building, and we've got these 2 sections done here. Now, I do have this bracket which we took off with these screws. So what I'm going to do is keep these together so I don't lose them. But that's all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. And obviously this is how the car is looking at the moment. Not bad, huh? As you see, I did a miraculous change of glasses then as well, because I really can't see anymore. This is why I wear these. I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.